Sophie here, and I'm with Steve of Morning Parade. How are you?
Very well, thank you. And you, Sophie?
Not too bad, thank you.
Good.
Now, we're at a pub, and pretty much all of your family are here.
Yeah.
Does that build the tension for a gig? Are you like, oh no, they're going to be watching me, this is scary?
It is a little bit weird. The family are here because we're hardly ever in England, so
Yeah.
when I do play, I get a bit excited. So it's like your nan, your gran, the lot come down, yeah.
Are you kind of worried what they're going to react like in a gig setting, like embarrassing heckles or dancing or whatever?
I'm sure they'll be fine. I mean, to be honest, there's a few oldies here, and I think they'll just be terrified, to be honest. So, especially when I get my shirt off, they'll be quite worried then.
Oh, does that happen?
Only on special shows.
Is this a special show? It kind of is.
Tonight is a really, really special show.
It's the last one of this run, isn't it? And then before America, obviously.
Yeah, it's the last one of this run. The last one of Morning Parade, yeah.
All the fans are like, no! How are you going to finish it off in style? Have you got anything special tonight, like a special song or a special message that you're going to end with?
Don't know, actually. We have changed the set a little bit for tonight. We've been playing a pretty solid set throughout this tour and all of this year, really, but tonight we're bringing back a few really old ones. So
The classics.
The classics, yeah. The vintage collection.
Yeah, we can say that, can't
Yeah.
we?
Yeah, of course we can, yeah.
Now, I've been reading your Twitter feed, and having a good breakfast seems to be quite important to you as a band. Like, you seem to post a picture when you go to a venue or somewhere that's got a big breakfast. Have you had a good one this morning? Are you prepared? And
It is the most important meal of the day, people say.
fact, yeah.
Unless when you're fasting and then you're just like, get me to 1 o'clock.
Yeah.
Today we left Paris this morning and went to like a dodgy service station, and I had a baked potato with tuna.
For breakfast?
It was £7 as well.
Oh, bad decisions.
What a fucking piss take, I know.
Where's the pain au chocolat?
Well, we had to kind of leave Paris pretty early, so I ditched that. It was too early to eat.
Can you have like a full meal before you go on stage, or do you have to wait till afterwards and get kebab like post gig or whatever?
If I want to vomit everywhere on stage and burp all the time and have to go like between lines, I tend not to eat before the gig.
Okay, wise advice there from Steve.
Yeah, absolutely. Stick to that.
Now let's talk about the difficult second album, shall we?
Yeah.
Now, I know you said about the first album that you actually wanted to leave that way behind, that it leaves a nasty taste in your mouth when you think about it. Why is that?
It wasn't the songs or the band or the guys or anything. I think it was just more so our introduction to the music industry. Like, oh, it's a business. Oh, fuck. We were so kind of young and green and naive, and I think we kind of learned in some ways the hard way about what this is really about, and it's really just about making money for people. And that's kind of the saddest thing about it. So I think that realization was kind of a good thing, because it led us to actually make a record we really liked, and not to be so concerned by that kind of stuff.
So when you hear those songs or have to play them, are you taken back to those moments when you're like, that guy was annoying? Or
No, not all. Like, I love all the songs on the first record, and our fans do as well. Like, it was just a great week in Europe, and it's kind of reinvigorated some of those songs for me, because we've played older songs that we haven't so much played in the US this year, and seeing crowds react to them the way we always remembered. So yeah, it was really, really sweet.
Now, in terms of the sound of the second album, people say it's quite different. Did you know what the sound was going to be like before? Sorry, choking.
Is that a question again? Or?
Did you know what the sound of the second album was going to be like?
I think we only knew as much as that we wanted to do. We wanted to bring back some of the elements of songs we wrote and recorded for the first album that didn't make the first album. We spent a lot of the first album playing, obviously, the track listing from the record, but also like B-sides and stuff like that we really enjoyed playing live, and our fans really enjoyed. So it was definitely something we thought about, but we also wanted to be a little bit more complex in our arrangements. It's like anything, you progress, you grow up, you look at things you did and you want to make things better than they were. So that's what we tried to do.
And did Ben, the producer, make you see what was good about the past stuff and what to leave behind? And
well, Ben's biggest thing was, don't react to your experience. Like, there are great things about what you did. It's time for you to take the good stuff, forget the bad stuff, and focus on what you want to do now. So yeah, Ben Allen was incredible.
Because you look at his discography and you think he has the right to say, I know right, you're listening to me, but did you actually find it was quite collaborative and that you could kind of work together and he's open to your ideas?
Yeah, Ben Allen is not a dictator by any means.
Yeah.
He's a man to be respected, but he, even with all of his success and his back catalogue, he's not, he has no ego. He's absolutely great. Even with all of his success and everything that he's worked on, I think he always approaches each band as individuals and as an individual project. And he'd never really made like a rock record before. And when I spoke to him initially, we were having kind of a Skype dialogue. I was kind of, we don't want to work with you. Yeah. What are you going to say about that? And he did a great job of convincing. I wanted to work with him. I didn't want to tell him that.
Playing it cool.
Yeah, I was playing. It's very cool. Yeah, very cool. No, he's awesome. It was collaborative in a sense, but it was great to be honest. Like we got to a point where we took the songs as far as we felt we could take them, and I was ready to let somebody else have something to say on them. And he improved the songs. He made it better than it was, and that's what a producer's for. And he's a really, really great producer.
Do you prefer the gently approach when it comes to someone offering criticism or, judgment on what you do, or do they need to be like, no, listen to me, this is right?
I'm not gentle, so I don't mind having the same back. Yeah. I do seem to remember the first day of us working together, he flew over to England and spent 2 days doing pre-production with us. And he was working on the song Alienation, and it had a different drum beat, and it had a very different... the structure was the same, but there was some different kind of grooves and stuff. And he did what he did in the second chorus, which made it to the record in the end. And I do remember him saying, let's try this idea, and me turning around to him and saying, I fucking hate what you're doing to this song. And he looked at me like, okay. But I was like, do you know what? If he can do that and we can have that within the first day of talking to each other, it blossomed into a beautiful relationship by the end of it. So it's good. And it needed it. He made the song better. So
yeah. Now the video, I love the visuals for the artwork and the video. Now, I think you're a fan of Chris's work, weren't you? Anyway, what was the video that drew you to him in the first place?
The first one I saw and remember was Modest Mouse Float On.
Yeah.
I thought it was just really like a great idea, great concept for video, the whole 2D, 3D thing going on. And he was just somebody that was on my list of who I'd love to work with. And it was one of those great things about the music industry can be difficult to reach people. There's sometimes there's behind veils of management and ego, and it's very difficult to get past it. And Chris was just a direct email, and he was like, yeah, I'll work on with your band, I like the song, what should we do? Let's meet tomorrow in an art museum and talk about it.
He's doing it right, isn't he?
He's a dude. He's an absolute dude. And throughout the whole creative process, we made the video, and I was like, I want him to do the artwork too, and it was just a really kind of organic process. I hate saying that. Hate fucking saying it. But yeah, it was a very organic process.
Good. And now, did you just let him go wild with the idea, or did you say maybe think this? Because it doesn't actually. It's not the obvious idea for the video to go with the song. I didn't.
Yeah, I mean, he was just like, I've got all these ideas, and sent me a bunch of storylines. And I just said, I like all of your ideas. Do what you want. And he was like, are you sure? And I think I got the phone call from my manager, and he's like, okay, I need you to make the decision on this because they need the budget, and you're going to have to basically be the person responsible for saying yes to this.
No pressure.
And I just like, it sounds like a ridiculous idea. Like, we've met him in a David Bowie exhibition in Toronto 2 days after emailing him.
Yeah.
He's given me these stupid ideas about turning lights on and off and women jumping around with their breasts out.
It's all right.
I was like, fuck it, let's just do it. Like, it's ludicrous, we should do it. Let's see what happens.
Sometimes the best things are the weird things.
Absolutely.
And it worked out pretty well.
I think so. I mean, I think the weird thing was he kind of kept looking at my face, and he's like, I'm going to film you quite up close. And I was like, okay. He's like, you've got a strange nose. And I was like,
shit.
No, I haven't. My mum says it's beautiful. So I just left it. I was like, do whatever you want. Just whatever you're happy with is fine by me.
Did the other bandmates get any comments about having a weird eyebrow or weird chin or anything?
No, just me actually.
Oh, Chris.
Do you think I've got a weird nose?
I think you've got a lovely... It's a sculpted nose, I'd say.
Thank you.
Yeah. I've got a beak for a nose, if we're talking about noses, so... No. I think it brings character to a face.
I see.
We'll go with that anyway. Now, you recorded in Atlanta, is that right? Now, that's a place full of food and music and everything. Was it a distraction, or was it actually a good thing for you to be there?
It was actually one of the reasons we wanted to work with Ben Allen was, one, because he was in Atlanta, two, because he was great. So one, because he was great, two, because he was in Atlanta.
Yeah.
And we'd never been to Atlanta before. We'd toured so much of America and seen so many states, but we'd never been to Atlanta. And I think the first album we did in London, and we had so many distractions around us, it was very easy to go out drinking or partying. And first album, Green Night, this is what we do, we're in a band. The second album, we kind of said our mantra is work, we're going to focus on this.
Yeah.
And we spent 6 days a week, 12 hours a day for 2 months in the studio, focusing, no alcohol, no other distractions. We didn't know anybody there. It was a good thing that we kind of went there for focus.
Yeah.
We lived in a house together for 2 months and had a good time. So yeah, it's great.
You say had a good time. Were there times where you're like, I need some space from these guys?
Oh,
That's
no.
intensive time.
We called Saturday night because I said 6 days a week and we weren't drinking at the studio or anything. Saturday night was the purge.
Okay.
And we would just go fucking mental for as long as we could until it was Monday again, and then we're like, right, back to the studio.
Were there not any bad after effects to doing that purge, though? Like hazy Mondays?
No, because we'd always make sure we got back at a reasonable time, you know, like, I guess like 6, 7 a.m. is a reasonable time for people in their mid-20s to stay out till.
Is it?
I mean, what do you think?
No, I'm older than that, so I can't say I'm past those parties.
You must remember your mid-20s.
I was a bit dull. I don't think I did.
Okay,
I'm a homebody.
Okay.
Yeah. So I just want to ask, because you've toured with some huge names, Biffy, 30 Seconds to Mars, loads of big names. I know not all of them are good at integrating with support acts. Some are brilliant. Now, can you reveal how
You asked me to dish the dirt.
a little bit.
The Wombats are the best.
Yeah.
Become good friends of ours. Dan was at our show last night in Paris.
Oh, nice.
And they're lovely, lovely people. And
Biffy are nice lads as well.
Biffy are lovely as well. Like Simon's great, and I totally fangirled out the first time we got to spend some time with him. And they invited us out for another tour with them, so we were like, yeah, you're good by us, and they're our heroes. They're great. Smashing Pumpkins are more interesting. Obviously, Billy's got a bit of a reputation, and Billy refers to himself in the third person.
Oh.
You want some advice? Speak to Billy. Billy will set you straight. But I gotta say, they treated us good. We had nice catering. We were well looked after. He chose us for the tour.
That's
so
enough, isn't it?
That's
really?
enough, really. We got his blessing, and the last night of the tour, we went into his dressing room, and he was just like wearing like a robe, and he was naked, and it was weird, but he was cool. It was strange.
Wow. Didn't expect to hear that.
I can't really think of any bands that weren't like nice. Everybody's kind of okay because you've got to live with each other for like, you know, however long the tour is. So they were cool.
You don't want to make it awkward, do you?
We don't, and it can be. Okay.
Yeah. What is your plan then for the rest of the year? Because you're going back to America tomorrow.
Yeah. More touring, I hope. Probably start writing some new songs.
Oh.
I've started already. Probably have to write, you know, another album at some point.
Yeah, probably.
And keep enjoying it. Keep having fun, really.
Good. So you're not too jaded about the music industry. You're still.
Oh, it's easy to do that, isn't it? I mean, if you work in accounting, you're getting bored of that as well. I'm a fucking tax man and all that. So, no, it is what it is. And there are some terrible people in it, and there are some brilliant people in it, like anything else.
Yeah.
Like prison.
Just like prison.
Yeah.
That lovely note. Have a great time tonight.
Yeah, thanks very much.
Nice to see you.
Cheers, Sophie.
Thank you.